Today I have a special guest on my channel. This person is one of the highest performing hard money lenders in my area. And if you ask how I know him, he funded my buyer on a deal that made me $45,000. There's a high chance if it wasn't for him, this transaction would have not been as smooth because we were able to close it in only 2 weeks. I believe that if a wholesaler creates a good connection with a hard money lender, this becomes a win-win situation. So today we're gonna help you understand how hard money works and how creating a relationship with a hard money lender can make you more money. Let's hop right in. All right, John. Well, thank you again for joining me today on the channel. And I think this would be a really good conversation to have because I think a lot of wholesalers and hard money lenders can work together. Right, and I think that everyone can benefit from knowing how to work together and how they can help each other. So, John, if you don't mind, just kind of tell me about yourself. How long you've been doing this, and kind of break it down for me. That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm with a company called Renewable Financial. I've been working with them since July of 2022. Since I've been with them, we've probably funded upwards of $150 million worth of deals, all around the Tampa Bay area. A few one-offs, some stuff in Jacksonville, some in Miami. But our focus is really being local here in the Tampa area. A hard money lender, for those of you who are new to the concept, these terms kind of get thrown around interchangeably. Hard money, private money. We are an institutional non-bank financier who offers quick turnarounds for purchase and renovation loans on residential real estate from 1 to 50 units. We do that for buy and rehab. We do that for buy and refi or and hold, right? So if you wanted to refinance something and keep it long term after renovating it, we offer that as well. It's also called a term loan or a DSCR loan. And then lastly, we do offer new construction financing for those who have built new construction before.
Yeah, that seems like you guys do a lot of volume. It's a lot of business. And seems like people and investors, they tend to work with hard money lenders more than they tend to work with regular banks. Why would you say that is, and what makes hard money lender different from a regular bank?
Yeah, so a lot of our customers are people who do this full time. Sometimes they have not been doing it for 2 years. My understanding of how typical bank financing works is you typically need 2 years of tax returns. So you have to fully prove out your business model before a bank will extend financing to you. A lot of the deals that our customers are negotiating are ones that require a quick close, which is typically under 30 days. A lot of people are somewhere between 2 and 4 weeks. And many times banks are not able to operate that quickly. Some are, but the majority are not. And if they are, maybe they're not willing to lend on something that's distressed. And that's kind of our sweet spot. So those are a couple of the key differentiators.
Yeah, and then one of the deals that we've done together, right? It was the deal that we closed in 2 weeks. And that was that. I don't think a regular bank would have been able to do what we were able to do. You can kind of, I know you know a little bit more in the background what has happened, but if you want to talk about what in specific situations where hard money makes the most sense, and this is one of the examples that I've been part of where there was no way that if there was any type of other financing besides probably cash, right? But any other financing would work.
Yeah, that was actually a testament to being able to really coordinate things correctly on our end. The specifics of that deal, we'll leave the client's name out of it for his privacy, but he had purchased a property all in cash, and he didn't have enough cash to close on the deal that you had brought. So what we had done was we made sure that we refinanced the first one and coordinated the closings in a way so that the closing for the refinance happened in the morning and the closing for your deal happened in the afternoon, which to some people listening might feel like, wow, that's common sense. Like, of course you do it that way. Well, it's easier said than done. A lot of lenders we're seeing in the market, I'm hearing firsthand from a lot of my customers, are the people that are offering these rental loans typically are not able to operate as quickly because of the way that they're financed on the back end. These loans by many lenders end up getting sold off to Wall Street, and the rental loans specifically are put into the same basket of loans as the mortgage on your house or my house.
Mm-hmm.
And as such, there's more scrutiny, there's second checks that are involved, there's deeper dives on appraisals. And because of that, many lenders are not able to operate as quickly. So I was especially proud of how our team handled making sure that that one happened and then closing on the deal that you had brought and making sure that everybody had what they needed and doing it in the timeline that we had promised.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into the other segment that I want to talk about. And if I personally didn't know you and what you do, it would have been very difficult for me to achieve what was achieved during that time, right? During that closing. And that was actually the next kind of a conversation I wanted to have with you. Um, how do you think a wholesaler can introduce himself, or potentially how can a wholesaler provide value from a hard money lender perspective? How can a wholesaler provide value to the hard money lender, and how a hard money lender can provide value back to the wholesaler?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's common that I've seen with a lot of wholesalers I work with, I mean, obviously you included, is, if the lender's okay with it, I mean, I know I am with you. If the lender's okay with it, send them your deals, especially for us because we're both operating in these hyper local markets. I mean, I don't really feel like I could be wrong, but I don't feel like you do a lot of wholesaling outside
No,
two
Tampa
hours of
Bay is
Tampa.
yeah, I've done a couple of deals in Miami here and there, but it's Tampa Bay. Yeah, it's
Sure.
the main thing.
Everything is typically within 2 hours though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
at
Mm-hmm.
most.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where the lion's share of my customers are. So having that relationship with us, I mean, it makes sure that if you send me a deal, more than likely, if it's in a specific area, like let's say it's in Bradenton,
Mm-hmm.
I got 5 people I can think of right now without even flinching, without
Mm-hmm.
even digging through all the clients I have that I know are interested in deals in Bradenton. I can send it to them. It takes me 2 minutes to hit forward, send it to 5 people, and move on to the next thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's one way that a local lender can add value to a wholesaler, and then from the wholesaler standpoint, you talk to many investors. A lot of them say, "Hey, I'm looking for deals." This is
Mm-hmm.
like the number one pain point that most investors have. If you're providing them deals and the deals make sense and it fits their box, I mean, that's a win-win for everybody. Yeah.
Do you feel like investors come to you when they already have deals, or they come to you sometimes when they're just looking to get kind of an idea of what the financing would look like, and then start looking for deals?
Yeah. I mean, we operate on a very relational basis. I think it's very common for people to call lenders, and I hear it all the time. What are your rates? How fast can you close? How much down? I mean, those are like the top 3 things. Um, and I'm happy to answer those types of questions. There is a little bit more to it than just saying it's this. We need to get to
Mm-hmm.
know people, and I mean, there's more beyond needing to get to know people. Like we want to get to know people. We want to
Mm-hmm.
build relationships with people and understand why they're doing this and the types of deals that they do. I think that's one thing that makes us very different. Um, from your perspective, if you're saying to me, "Hey, listen, I really would prefer to operate with certainty," I mean, make the introduction from the investor to us, or to whatever lender, if it's a different wholesaler in a different market watching this, and have that lender get everything they need on the client up front, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
part of the reason why we were able to operate with such certainty in the deal that you and I did, is because I had all of the information versus finding out things 2 weeks down the road, and then everybody's upset because expectations weren't set. I think this is a very
Yeah.
common thing I see in real estate, where whether it's a new investor, a new wholesaler, a new lender, everybody is excited and wants to get the deal done, but sometimes that excitement results in confusion, and things get missed, and then people are upset, and that it results in a lesser experience.
So from wholesaler perspective, I think it's very beneficial for us to know a good hard money lender, because there's a lot of times when we talk to motivated sellers that are in the need to close in 2, 3 weeks. It's not just because we want to finalize close the deal and make the money. There's a lot of times there's a need to close in that short timeline. With that being said, a lot of times I feel like it's beneficial for a wholesaler to know a good hard money lender in their market that can close a deal that quick. So therefore, my question to you is, how do you identify a hard money lender that is like you said, you're right, currently in Tampa Bay market, what you're doing, I have all my clients whenever they reach out to me, if they're trying to finance the deal, I try to go through you and I mention you all the time. Therefore, how can a wholesaler that's maybe not in the Tampa Bay market can find a hard money lender in that market that can do what you can do here? So, quick close, make sure to perform, and like you said, can refinance deals without having the complications that some lenders can have.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to reputation, and I would encourage wholesalers to reach out to other high volume investors and figure out who they're using. Um, I mean, I appreciate you always recommending us. I think there are other investors that would likely feel comfortable doing the same thing and recommending us for a transaction because we've built a good reputation around town. Another way to find out, you could call title companies. What I've seen a lot of wholesalers do is they build a really rock solid relationship with a title company, and those title companies can tell you what it's like working with those lenders. We've actually
Mm-hmm.
had title companies refer us business because of the way we've operated, because we're setting clear expectations and we do what we say we're going to do. In turn, title companies are like, these guys drive us crazy. You should talk to this lender
Yeah.
instead. Um, so, I mean, that would be a few different ways you could go about it. I mean, there's always online reviews, but um, I think being in the area and speaking with people that are on the ground, and talking with the people that use X lender is probably a really good place to start.
And yeah, and I agree with you. I think obviously the best way to do anything in real estate or just in general any other industry is referrals, right? In-person referrals and networking and understanding who does how, what kind of business. And title companies are a great way of source of information. I've reached out to title companies before and I said, "Hey, I'm under contract with this buyer," and I've had title company go like, "Whew, that's gonna be a tough one." And then I'm like, "Okay, well, that's good to know." And the same thing goes obviously with lenders and all that stuff. So that's actually a good suggestion. I do tell a lot of
Another
wholesalers
reason
that.
to start too with the title companies. I mean, I get this question and say, "Hey, we got this deal that's coming in. Today's Wednesday. Can you close it by next Wednesday?" And
Hmm.
my answer is always, "I have to check." And
Hmm.
I typically like to work backwards. So I have three members in my team. I have a closer, a credit analyst, and a production assistant. And I'll start at the end and I'll say, "Hey, closer, can you do this day?" And if she's got 10 others that day, then I'll say, "Okay, well, can you do it the day before or the day after?"
Hmm.
And then from there, she says, if you want to do it that day, I need it approved this day." Then I work my way backwards. Now I go to my credit analyst. I say, "Hey, if I need it approved this day, which day do you need everything?" Okay, well, if
Hmm.
you need it, I need it this day. All right, so now we go back to that. So now I got to figure out how fast I can get, either a BPO or an appraisal turned around. So I call the BPO guy or my appraiser, and I say, "Hey, can you get into this property and get the report back?" It's just working your way
Hmm.
backwards. Now, relating this back to the title company, none of this happens, and no lender is going to clear without title. I don't care if it's a private guy
Yeah.
or a big
Yeah.
institution like us. So it would behoove anybody to start with the title company and say, "Hey, can you get clear title back on this property by this day?"
Yeah. And the 1 week is a pretty short turnaround time. I've seen it happen, but there's title companies that can't do it, and I've talked to multiple title companies that just can't. They have to take at least 2 weeks for a clear title, like something around that. So 1 week is possible. It's tough though, and I agree with you. What do you think the wholesaler should tell the hard money lender about themselves? Because there is thousands of wholesalers out there, right? And you are a busy person, and I'm sure a lot of hard money lenders are. So you don't want to, as a wholesaler, you want to make a good impression of yourself to the lender and, show that you can provide value in the future. So what should a wholesaler say when they just call and introduce themselves before they even have a deal? Because they just want to get to know you and understand how they can do business in the future with you.
Yeah. So I guess I can answer that a few different ways. If they're just looking to build a relationship with a lender for the sake of building a relationship and referring them deals, and hopefully that lender passes deals out to their clients if they
Mm-hmm.
think that they're suitable, I think just calling and letting them know that that's their intention. It's, hey, listen, I'd love to build a relationship with you. It looks like you're doing a lot around town. I'd love to find ways to work together, and in turn, I'd love to refer my buyers to you, and hopefully you'll refer my deals to your buyers, and it can just kind of be like a mutually beneficial relationship. I think that's the first start of things. The second would be, hey, listen, like, I've got, you know, people that I can send to you. What's the best way to introduce someone? Who is your target customer? Now, I can tell you, for me specifically, we are not the best lender for new investors. Our avatar of who we want to work with is somebody who is proven out that they know how to invest in real estate. Now, to what capacity? I mean, ideally in something like for like, right? So if the guy has bought, single family houses, and he's bought and renovated a few of them, and he's proven that he's sold them, and it's recent experience, right? It's not something he did 10 years ago. Ideally, in the last couple of years, those are the types of people that we want to work with. Now, maybe other lenders don't care as much. Maybe they say, hey, we'll take anybody and everybody. And if that's the case, hey, at least the wholesaler knows, hey, anybody I get, I can refer to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
From our perspective, we're looking for people who are financially qualified, right? Like, have the financial means to do the investment, and they also have done what they're looking to do with us.
Mm-hmm.
2 single family rehabs does not equate to a 25-unit apartment building.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, so it's a very different type of experience. And that's good to
Right.
know, because I think if you ask those questions, you could have a hard money lender that is good for someone, that an investor that reaches out to you and says, "Hey, it's my first ever deal." I have those guys personally. I have a guy that, that is like, "I want to buy a deal, I want to buy a deal." He never done a deal. He's a handyman kind of thing, right? So he's never done a deal. I know that if I refer him to you, if it's a first ever deal, he's probably gonna, the terms are not gonna be the best, because we've talked with you about it, that it's better if somebody has done like a couple of deals, and that's already
Yes.
it. So that's good to know, because if you ask those questions, you can have a lender that is good for those, newbies, if that makes sense, right? Someone that's starting up, and you can have a hard money lender that offers a lot better terms for someone that's done a couple of deals, right? Because that's what we've talked with you before. Your terms are really good for someone that has done multiple deals,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good to have like variety.
Exactly. Yeah. If they're what anybody would define as experienced, we're going to be, you know, within the ballpark of any other lender. If you are not experienced, I'm sure there are other lenders out there that are, likely offering a lesser down payment and lower rates, and I welcome those people to use them, and go from there. But our target customer is somebody who's experienced, who's proven out, they know what they're doing. Those are the types of people we're looking to partner with.
And that's awesome, man. That's I think like I said, that knowledge can really help with wholesaler to really not refer you business that then eventually the buyer is not happy, because they're like, well, I'm getting horrible down payment. I have to put down 30% or more, whatever, right? So
Right.
they're not gonna be happy with that. So you don't want to do that, right? Because the reason why I've closed many deals where I tell buyers that I'm a one-stop shop. So I can provide them a good title company, good insurance agent, good lender, good everything, right? So, and people appreciate that, right? So I think that having all of that under the belt is very important. And I know that a lot of people that watch my channel are people that are starting off, or people that do business, but they want to take their business to the next level. And I think that's something that you should take away, is that you should get to know the person you're working with. And this goes, right? So we can both agree. This goes for lenders, this goes for title company, this goes for insurance agents. You really want to build that relationship with people. And actually, that's a very good question that I think is it's a little bit swaying away from the hard money part, but it is also, I think, is a big thing that you guys do that well, personally I know you, so you do that makes you different, is building relationships. And I think I've seen you do this really well. And I'm want to ask you, as people, because there's investors, there is wholesalers, how do you build relationship with people that you feel like you build a meaningful connection with them business wise, right? So you know, as a, you know, wholesaler with a lender, lender with investor, investor with a wholesaler, right? What's a couple of tips that you can give?
Yeah, I think taking a genuine interest in people, and understanding why they're doing what they're doing, and I think that you can provide better guidance to people and be more thoughtful about lending decisions you make if you know them and understand why they're doing things versus treating everything like a transaction. So those are a few things that we do a little bit differently.
So just treating humans as humans, right? So having everyone is
Yeah.
different in a relationship. Yeah, I
Yeah. If you
absolutely.
treat everybody like a number or like another loan, then it's just, I don't know. I just don't feel like that's the best way to operate.
No, I absolutely agree. I think you know, I have a mental list of investors that I've worked with in the past, and I try to, you know, once in a while shoot them a text and see how they're doing. You know, I see their listings online. I give them props for actually the transaction that me and you did. The guy listed his property for rent, and I saw it online, and I showed him a text and said, "Hey, man, that's looking great." And I think that's important, right? And I think that a lot of investors, wholesalers, they start the business and they kind of just try to close as many deals as possible, and they don't really think about well, what's going to happen in the future, because you can close 2 3 deals easily, right? But are those deals going to come back? Is that investor is going to want to work with you again, right? Is that, you know, and that's what makes or breaks, right? Because for closing the first couple of deals is one thing, but having those people come back is what really makes you stand out in business, right? In my opinion, because
Right.
that's what
Yeah,
really accumulates over time.
totally.
Yeah, so I definitely I think that's a really good point. But I think honestly, what I'm gonna do, John, is actually I'm actually going to go ahead and add the link to your page. You have a link, right, to like your personal page that they
Yep.
can reach out to you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm going to include that in the description so people can reach out to you if somebody's looking to do business in Tampa Bay area. I think they should talk to you, and if it's an investor or wholesaler, I think they should create a connection with you. And I think, like I said, I personally can vouch that we've done a lot of business together, and it's been really, really, really nice. So John, I really do appreciate your time. I think this has been awesome. I think it's been really, really helpful. I think it's
Yeah.
going to be really helpful for investors, wholesalers, and hard money lenders, because maybe some lenders are started off, they don't even know like the importance of connecting with a wholesaler. You know, you never know.
Right.
uh
Yeah, absolutely.
so thanks for joining the channel. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for
And
having me.
yeah, no, I think this would be awesome. So if you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down below so that I'll have John answer your guys questions on YouTube comments. And if you guys do have any, and I'm sure he will be happy to do that as well. uh All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining. All right. Peace.